Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jamber. Today, we're talking NBA and NFL. Starting off with the NFL is draft day. Finally, after so long, the draft is finally here. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to do one final mock draft for, just one more time. 2025 draft this year. Can't make any more mock drafts, so might as well throw one more out there. After that, switch to the NBA, recap the games from last night, talk about the games for today, and then I want to talk about Nico Harris, whatever you want to call him. Just talk about him. He's always an easy topic to talk about, and there's something interesting happened with him recently that I do want to touch on. So we'll talk about that. But before we get into that, tips and donations. Tips and donations are always greatly appreciated. By tipping and donating, it shows you guys care about the content that we're putting out, and we do put out the best content that we possibly can. So tipping and donating really does mean the world. So if you do want to tip or donate and you're in the live stream, feel free to do so with the super chat and the sticker feature. If you're not in the live stream and you want to tip or donate, the two links in the bio and in the description will help lead you to that site to help donate. Even if you don't want to tip or donate, but you want to show support, feel free to leave a comment in the live stream comment section or in the comment section of the YouTube video or the shorts. We'll get to I'll see the live stream one as soon as you send it in. But the comment section on the YouTube and short might be a little while before I get to that. Not a little while, but a little longer, I guess you could say. But I'll respond to those as soon as I can. I love talking to people, listen and watch. So feel free to do that so I can get to those whenever I can. But like I said, if you do want to tip or donate and you're in the live stream, feel free to do that with the super chat and sticker feature. If you're not in the live stream, feel free to do that with the two links in the bio and in the description. With that being said, let's get in this topic number one for today. Bang. The NFL draft, baby. It's finally here. The NFL draft, after ending the series after ending the season in February with the Super Bowl, we have now waited, 4 months? It's 2 months, 3 months, 4 months for the draft to finally arrive. And that space between February and late April / early May is the absolute worst for NFL. Just honestly, NFL fans in general and college football fans as well. There's no football, and NFL and college football are two of my favorite things to watch. And it's the worst. I mean, you kind of feel like in that time there's really nothing going on. I mean, you got NBA, which I also really enjoy watching, but not as much as NFL. And especially at this time of year, especially the date of recording and live streaming this is a really dull time in the NBA. Like, just throughout, I feel like, there's the NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs, but those end in about a month. After that, when the playoffs end, it's just hockey. And, it's just regular season baseball, which, isn't bad, but when your team's not playing, there is nothing to do. There's nothing to watch, any of that, which sucks. But, I mean, this is the best time. The NFL draft is finally here, like I said, and it's just so exciting. It's one of the longer drafts, 3-day process, 7 rounds. It's super fun though. The first day you get the first round. I believe just the first round. I believe the second round. No, just the first round. And then, the best players get selected. Like from college, the best players in college get selected in the first round. Obviously, there's some busts. There's guys who get selected in the later rounds who prove to be superstars. But the first round is where all the big name players will be. All of the big name, stars. Travis Hunter, maybe Shedeur Sanders, Abdul Carter, Cam Ward. All these guys, they're finally getting their spotlight. They're finally getting their time to shine. And it's the best time of the year. It's heading to Green Bay. And being from, Michigan, Detroit, and the draft was in Detroit last year, I was lucky enough to be able to go to the draft. And I can say it was one of the best experiences in my sporting life. Being able to go down, walk the streets of Detroit, just talk to fans, seeing fans from all cities, all states around the U.S. I met people from, Arizona, California, Washington. It was awesome being able to meet all those people just from around the country, sharing this same fan base. We love the NFL, and seeing people come from around the country to show support for their team is also just amazing. It was a great day as well. The weather was nice. The mood was high. I got to go. Obviously, there's like a lot of like pre-signing events. Like players from the hometown team will go to like events for like charities, nonprofits, groups like that. And I was able to go meet Brian Branch of the Detroit Lions at an event. It was amazing, and the draft is just really a really fun time. It's a pretty long time, 7 rounds, multiple hour draft days, but also being able to see all those like young fans, like big celebrities come on stage and announce your favorite team's player. Like it's really awesome. Like being like last year when I saw MMG come onto the stand or come onto the stage and announce one of the Lions picks. I mean, it was awesome. Him being from the same college I go to. He graduated multiple years before me, but him going to the same school I did, him just having a lot, like being from the same state in general, and just him announcing that and seeing someone I grew up watching YouTube on was awesome. And he had like that little connection of we love the same team. The NFL draft is just one of the best times of the year. It's at a perfect time, early April, end of April / early May. It's just a really good time because the weather's getting good. Like I said earlier, the vibes, I guess you could say, are high. People are ready to see their favorite player, see their favorite team draft the player of the future, and that's why the draft is so much fun. You just see all these young stars, like I said earlier, finally getting their chance to shine, get their chance to just make a name for themselves. And after today, the best players, all the 32 teams or teams who trade down, whatever, but out of every team in the NFL, every team gets a chance to take a kid and say, hey, we think you're going to fit our team the best. We need you. Come play for us. And getting that call, I can only imagine, is the best feeling in the world. I can only imagine what it's like for, 19-year-old, 20-year-old to get a call from a team saying, we think you're the perfect fit for us. I mean, come play for us. We're going to sign you for a few $1 million, a 2-year contract, or, the rookie contract. I think it's like $4 million 2 years or 3 years. And yeah, we want you to come play. And that's just the best thing in the world. Imagine, getting that call. But like I said, I mean, it's in Green Bay. And Green Bay is a nice city. I mean, it's historical. It's historical, not only just for their football, but just for the city as well. It's also just known for their football, and it's definitely going to be a fun time to watch that tonight. Seeing the commissioner go on, seeing Roger Goodell go onto the stage and get booed is also it's a tradition that he embraces. It's kind of cool that he embraces the tradition of, okay, if they're gonna boo me, I'm gonna put on a smile, wave, make some jokes about it. It's just funny being able to see, a commissioner being able to take the heat like that. It really is cool. But like I said earlier, the NFL draft is it's just perfect. I feel like, I mean, these 32 teams drafting their favorite players. Because training camp starts a few weeks after the draft. I think it's like a week or two after the draft. And I mean, it's gonna be awesome. A lot of big name talent in this draft. Obviously, you got Cam Ward, who's most likely going to be drafted at the number 1 spot with the Tennessee Titans, who have basically already claimed him as, yeah, he's ours, because Tennessee Titans fans, they definitely don't want to see another year of Will Levis. I know no diss to Will Levis, but he definitely hasn't panned out the way that the fans wanted him, the organization wanted them to. They're not going to cut him, but they'll keep him as a backup for sure. They should. I mean, he'd be a serviceable backup for any team, but he's just not a starter. But yeah, Cam Ward, obviously you got the Browns and Giants at 2 and 3, who honestly might trade down because the Jaguars want to trade up, and they want to trade up, try to get Genty. Most likely, they're really eyeing Genty out of Boise State because ETN, I guess he's been injured, but he's kind of been I don't know, flying around the waiver wire. Is he going to get cut? Is he going to get re-signed? I mean, who knows? So, who knows? But there's a lot of big-name guys, a lot of guys in this draft who are going to make an impact in the NFL as soon as they're drafted. A lot of strong defensive players in this draft and offense. I mean, this whole draft is loaded with a lot of talent. Obviously, you got the once-in-a-generation two-way player who's actually, really good, Travis Hunter, the Heisman winner. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime. Obviously, Deion Sanders, a two-way player as well. But getting a guy who not only plays two sides of the ball, but does it very well. I mean, the last time we had a player who was able to play that well, both sides of the ball, I would compare him to probably the The kid out of Michigan, yeah, Julius Peppers. Yeah. Out of Michigan, it was like 2016 when he was at Michigan, and he was a freak. I mean, he was one of the best players in the country, and he's a phenomenal two-way player. But he didn't play two ways in the NFL. He's only a defensive player. Travis Hunter, he wants to play both ways, both sides of the ball, and he's going to be a huge asset for whatever team picks him up. I'm assuming it's going to be the Browns, unless they trade down to get more picks. But if they trade down, I'd be very surprised by that. But wrap this up, honestly. I mean, NFL draft, it's finally here. One of the best drafts to go experience. The environments are just so high. Because most of the time it's outside the arena, the stadium, with all these people just from around the country coming to support their teams. I think it's really cool. And one of the best things about the draft is just meeting all the people and seeing where these big name players go. That's all I got for segment number 1. Next segment, we're sticking with the NFL, talking mock draft. After that, we're done with the NFL, going to the NBA, recap the games from last night, talk about the games for tonight, and then touch on Nico Harrison, who I just want to talk about. We'll get to that after the break.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jambert. First segment, we talked about the NFL draft. It's finally here. This segment, stick with the NFL. One final 2025 NFL mock draft before the draft. We got, some NBA. We're going to the NBA after that. We got Nico Harrison, final segment. Before that, we'll recap the games from last night and preview the games for tonight. Before we get into that, though, tips and donations. Tips and donations are always greatly appreciated. By tipping and donating, it shows that you guys care about the content that we're putting out. And we do put out the best content that we possibly can. So if you do want to tip or donate and show you care, show you appreciate what we do, if you're in the live stream, the 2 links in the bio and in the description. If you're not in the live stream and you want to tip or donate, the 2 links in the bio and the description. But, I'm sorry, what I meant to say, sorry. If you're in the live chat, super chat, and stickers. If you're not in the live stream, bio and description. I'm not sure what happened there, but my brain just got mumbled up. I'm not sure. But if you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. If you don't want to donate, you want to show you guys care, leave a comment in the live chat or in the YouTube/short comment section. I'll see those as soon as you post them. I'll get the notification, especially in the live chat. I'll see that as soon as you post it. So I'll respond to that as fast as I can. But yeah, commenting is also a great way to show you guys care. And being able to respond to those are always just fun. I don't care, good or bad. It's always just funny or fun to see them post it and respond. But if you do want to tip or donate, like I said, and you're in the live stream, feel free to do that with the super chat and sticker feature. If you're not in the live stream, the 2 links in the bio and in the description. With that being said, let's get into segment number 2, NFL, the final 2025 NFL mock draft. The mock drafts have always been fun. I've always enjoyed doing them. Just kind of predicting where a player's going to go, if he's going to go this position, this team, whatever. It's always fun. So let's just do one final one. I'm probably going to try to do all 32 teams this time, maybe like 12. I'll do the top 15. I've only done like the top 6 each time. I'll go a little deeper this time. I'll go I'll just go as far as I can, honestly. So, number 1 overall pick, I think we all know it's going to be Cam Ward. I mean, Cam Ward has just been with the Titans. I mean, they're locked and loaded with the Titans. I mean, the Titans they want him. They've been eyeing him like a hawk, and there's just no way that I just don't see them drafting anybody else. Like I said earlier, the Titans fans do not want to see Will Levis as a starting quarterback next year, and Cam Ward is the guy to come fix that. He's a great quarterback, great pocket awareness, very calm in the pocket, and he's fast and has a great arm. I mean, he's just a perfect quarterback for them and their system, and they can draft some receivers and defense when they need to in the later rounds, which is something they need. Receivers they don't really need any running backs either. Tony Pollard, and he's a great running back. He's great in the Cowboys, and he hasn't really fallen off. He actually did really good last year with the Titans, but the Titans, just weren't a very a good team, I guess you could say, last year, so they didn't get a lot of recognition. But if you're looking at his stats and watching him play, he's a good running back who can find the hole, find the gap, and get wherever they need him. Tayshaun Spears, their backup, is also a very solid backup running back who they kind of, switch on and off. They'll rotate every other possession or sub one or each other out for certain scenarios. But they don't need a running back, which is good. They do need probably some receivers to help Cam Ward on his offensive side of the ball, and then later get some defense. Pick number 2. I'm going to do this based off also no one's trading up or down. This is just straight picks, no trading up. No one's losing their draft. No one's losing their spot or whatever. Because that'd be very complicated if I had to predict where teams would trade up. So I'm doing straight up in the order that it is. Pick number 2, Cleveland Browns. I think they're going with Travis Hunter. I think that he's just the perfect fit for their system, a perfect fit for the way they play. He wants to play 2 sides of the ball, and lucky enough, the Browns need a receiver and a corner. The receiver core isn't too bad. Jerry Jeudy, a receiver, David Njoku, a tight end. It's a very good receiving tight end, one of the best tight ends in the league, honestly. And Jerry Jeudy put on a clinic last year. He got traded from the Broncos, and he had himself a year. He was playing great. He was He had a great connection with Jameis Winston last year. It was his go-to receiver, and it proved. It showed through not only his fantasy score or his overall his yards and all that, but just through their connection they had. So Jerry Jeudy will definitely be he's a huge wide receiver 1 for them. But drafting Travis Hunter 4 at the number 2 spot will be huge. Adding not only a very good receiver but a very good cornerback as well. Their defensive play is not their problem, but adding a very solid DB to their roster is going to be huge for the Browns. Number 3, the New York Giants. I think that's going to be Abdul Carter. I think it has to be Abdul Carter. Their young running back, very good. They're not going to trade up they're not going to draft Genty. I'd be very surprised if they do. If they draft Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, and Abdul is a very scary front 3 that I would not want to deal with. He's a beast. He wore number 11 at Penn State, and the 11 tradition at Penn State, you don't. If you wear number 11, you're going to be a beast, and he was. He was a tank. He's one of the best defensive players they've produced in a while. Honestly, just one of the best players they produced in a while. Micah Parsons wore number 11. You got Saquon Barkley, who wore number 11. And they got that rookie in there at Penn State wearing number 11 now. I forgot his name, but I've seen him. I've seen some highlights of him, and he's a scary dude. I would not want to line up against him. But so far we got Cam Ward at 1, Travis Hunter 2, Abdul Carter at 3. Moving on to the 4, 5, and 6. See, the Patriots could go for receiver, or they could go for an offensive lineman, a tackle, guard, center. So, because, they need receivers. When you have your wide receiver 1 is going to be when it's an older Stephon Diggs. He's aging. He's getting to an age. You can always target receiver. But the thing about that, good receivers can fall to round 2. So I think they will end up taking, a guard, tackle, or a center. But I do think it's going to be a guard. And the guard, honestly, there's a lot of good options. Obviously, people really don't know, a good guard. I just know this guard off the top of my head. Unless you're a top guaranteed, top 3 pick or whatever, you don't really know. And a guard that sticks out to me, Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State. I think he could be a great guard for the Patriots. I also feel like he fits that system well. He's 6'6", 312, and for his size, he's strong. He's just super strong, and he's pretty quick. For a lineman, he's fast. He's got a really long wingspan, 9'3". His broad jump is 9'3", sorry, not his wingspan, but still, he's fast. He's quick off the ball, and he is going to help that team a lot. If they don't take an offensive guard and they do want to go for a tackle, a lot of options there. Will Campbell out of LSU, Josh Simmons, Ohio State. So it really just depends on which one they feel like they need more, tackle or guard. If they go for a tackle, I think they take Will Campbell out of LSU. They go for a tackle. They go for a guard. They go Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State. Then you got Jacksonville. I think the Jags are honestly going to take Ashton Jeanty. I think they're going to steal him away from the Raiders. The Raiders are going to be really mad about that, and maybe they'll try to trade up to get him. But I think the Jacksonville Jaguars take Ashton Jeanty. They need a running back. ETN is, he's injured a lot. He's getting to a point where they're looking to trade him or, just get rid of him. And Jeanty is the perfect spot, a perfect slot to fill him in. The new head coach they brought in, very offensive. He's an offensive head coach with an emphasis on the run game. And Ashton Jeanty would fit well into that system. They build up around that O-line a little bit and put Jeanty in the backfield. That's going to be a very scary run game. If you get Jeanty with a good O-line, he's a tank. He already is a tank regardless of how good his O-line is, how bad it is, or whatever. But a solid O-line will take the Jaguars pretty far within the season. Then you got the Raiders. So I have Jeanty going over, going to 5 spot, and Raiders obviously are eyeing heavy on Jeanty. So what do? They got 2 receivers. I was thinking of the Seahawks for a second. The Raiders really don't have much going. Yeah, they got Geno Smith at quarterback. They could go for another quarterback, someone to back up Geno Smith for. I'm sorry about that. I just had something stuck in my throat. Sorry about that. But they could go for another backup quarterback to help Geno Smith when needed. If they need, he does bad and they want to fill someone in. But I think they'll go for an offensive lineman. I think the Raiders they're in rebuild. And their team overall isn't, the best. But I think to start a good rebuild, you need a good lineman. And so I do think they take, an offensive lineman. Who that's going to be depends on what they want to go for, a tackle or guard. They could get, like I said, Tyler Booker, a guard at Alabama, Donovan Jackson, a guard at Ohio State. I think they will end up taking probably Jonathan Jackson or Tyler Booker at that 6th spot because they need offensive linemen, and guards are a really key asset to an offensive line. Obviously, all of them are, but a pulling guard is a huge help for any offensive lineman. Then you got 7 with the Jets. The Jets honestly really need a lot, but I think the Jets, one thing they need is a tight end, and I do think either Colston Loveland or, Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren out of Penn State will do the trick for that. I think Tyler Warren is probably one of the best tight ends we've ever seen in the draft as of recent, and I think he falls to the Jets at 7. I think he fits that system well. Panthers at 8. They can also go for a tight end, Colston Loveland. 2 tight ends back-to-back would be kind of crazy, but I totally think it's possible. Both of them are so good, and both those teams need a good tight end, and I think that is completely reasonable. Will that happen? I doubt it. I do think probably the Panthers will take an offensive lineman, but I wouldn't be surprised if both of them do take tight ends. Pick number 9, the New Orleans Saints. They need a quarterback now. I think they do end up taking a quarterback because Derek Carr's injury. Who will that be? Shedeur Sanders, most likely. He has statistically one of the best passing yards seasons ever, accuracy, and I think Deion would like him. Honestly, Deion probably has not really a say, but a lot of influence he can say on where he might go, and I think that he would fit New Orleans really well. A lot of young guys in that team, and I think he would fit that system well, most likely. And in the final, I'll do top 10. Chicago Bears. Amarion Hampton out of North Carolina as the running back would be a perfect fit for them. DeAndre Swift, he's not bad, but he's getting a little older. And I think Amarion Hampton is a great young running back. But they have a great offensive line. They could draft O-line, but I think they go heavy on running back to help, out that young core they got over there. Ramaduze, Caleb Williams, and plus another. They were both rookies last year. Add on a brand new starting running back who's a rookie out of North Carolina. That'll be a huge help for that team. I totally think that's a possibility of them drafting Amarian Hampton. That's all I got for this segment. Let's go into the NBA next, talking about the games from last night, preview the games for tonight, end it off talking about Nico Harrison. We'll get to all that after the break.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jambert. First two segments were NFL, talk about the draft, and then did a little mock draft, the final one of the season, before the next year at least. In this segment, we're switching from the NFL, we're going to the NBA. Talk about the games from Wednesday night, April 23rd. Recap those games. After this, we're going to preview the games for tonight. There's 3 games tonight. We'll talk about that. After that, ended off talking about Nico Harrison. So, Wednesday night. Last night, there was not, a lot of good. I mean, the games were not bad, but they weren't, these pristine games that a lot of viewers would be watching. We'll just go in order of the times they were played. And we'll start it off with the Celtics Magic game. The Boston Celtics won 109-100 over the Orlando Magic. I thought, honestly, the Boston Celtics were going to lose. I thought the Magic were going to take this one away with Tatum not playing. I thought the Magic could, with their defense, with how good their defense is, I thought they could sleep this one away, take a nice little win. But they couldn't. Like I said, Boston won 109-100. And it really is unfortunate because I really wanted to see Boston maybe get a game or two I want to see Orlando get a game or two against Boston. And obviously with Tatum probably coming back next game, that's just not going to happen. I think this series ends up going 4-0 to Boston, which just stinks. Like I said, I want to see Orlando get a win or two. But let's talk a little stats. If you're looking at the stats, Franz Wagner, 25. I mean, he's a bucket. Franz has been a really good basketball player since he got drafted in 2019, 2020, or 2021 actually. He's been a huge asset to the Magic. His career, since he's been there, he's been a huge player for them. Paolo, 32, 9-7. Paolo Banchero is one of the best players in the NBA. One of the best players in this draft class as well. He was the best player in this draft class. And there's really no one. I mean, look at the stats. Against a very good, possibly the best team in the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics, he drops a calm 32, 9-7. Almost a double-double, close to a triple-double. I mean, he's a beast. I mean, he played 43 minutes, and he's just so good. He's big. For how big he is, he should not be able to score the way he does. He just pulls up. You think for how his size, he'd be playing a lot more passive, a lot safer, but nah. He goes after. He gets aggressive in the paint. So like I said, 32, 9-7. Wendell Carter Jr., 16 and 8. Pretty solid stat line. I mean, without those three, though, the team is just not good. I'm just going to say that. I mean, everybody else on their team had less than 10 points. The two other starters, KCP, 3 points, 1 for 9 from the field goal range, 0 for 6 from 3. I mean, that's I know KCP, he's been around for a while, but that's unacceptable. I mean, if you've been around for that long, you should be, playing a lot better. But the Magic, unfortunately, just couldn't get this game away. I mean, I thought they could, I was really hoping they would, considering how many injuries the Magic had. Almost their entire roster play besides 2 guys. The Celtics had only 8 guys on the floor. They had played 8 guys the entire game, and the rest of the players were out with injuries or just didn't play in general. But if you see their stats, you would know they didn't really need the other guys to play. Jaylen Brown, 36, 10, and 5, double-double. I mean, he's just so consistent. Jaylen Brown is one of the best scorers in the league every year. For the past few seasons, he's been the best scorer in the league, one of the best, and he's just so efficient every time he touches the ball. If he shoots it, you're like, oh, that's probably going in. We got Derek White, 17, 6, and 5. I mean, he was. No one really talks about how good he was. That trade the Celtics made for the Spurs for Derek White was really good. They got him for practically nothing. They gave away 2 guys who honestly were just serviceable. They weren't that good. They weren't horrible. But I mean, that trade to get Derek White from San Antonio is one of the most underappreciated trades in recent NBA history. Kristaps Porzingis, 20 and 10. I mean, he's a beast. I mean, for him, that's an off night. I mean, 20-10 double-double. I feel like especially for his 3-point shooting, even 0 for 5. I feel like he's always hitting these crazy, obscure 3-point shots, but last night he didn't, surprisingly. And yeah, the Celtics are just the better team than the Magic. They will, honestly, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but they're going to 4-0 the Orlando Magic. I'd be very surprised if the Magic get at least 1 or 2 games on them, but we'll have to wait and see. I hope I'm wrong, but as of right now, Boston's going to win the series 4-0. The next game, Eastern Conference game as well, Cleveland Cavaliers played the Miami Heat. I thought the Heat, same thing for the Magic. I was hoping the Heat could maybe get 1 or 2 games away from the Cavaliers. But with this loss last night, I just don't think it's possible anymore. The Cavs won 121-112, so it was only a 9-point loss, better than the 21-point loss the first game they played. But still, I mean, I was really hoping the Heat could get a game or 2 against the Cavaliers, and looking at it now, I just don't think it's possible anymore. I don't think it will happen. I mean, if you look at the stats, not only the stats, the gameplay as well, the Heat just they just can't match up against the Cavs. They just aren't good enough to, unfortunately. But if you're looking, stat-wise, Andrew Wiggins, 10, Bam Adebayo only has 11. Double-double, though, 11 and 14 rebounds. I mean, he's averaging, his rebounds are insane. He gets so many rebounds every game, like 12-plus every game. He's a huge rebounder for him. But their second chance points, they just don't come through. They can't seem to score off it. So even with all those rebounds, they just can't seem to get, points after rebounds. Tyler Hero, another really good game from him, though. 33, 6, and 5. Still one of the best scorers. He's the best player. I'm going to say that right now. Best player on the Heat right now. Huge for them in the play-in. Dropped 37 and 36 both of his games. Excuse me. But, I mean, he's a phenomenal player. He's still playing really good. Will he get traded? There's speculation he might get traded, but I doubt it. I think the Heat just need one more Jimmy Butler type of player, and they'll be back to where they were, last year, 2 years ago, when they're making deep playoff pushes as an 8 seed. But Tyler Hero's phenomenal, and I don't see a reason why they should trade him. And you got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Talk about them now. I mean, they're just one of the best teams in the NBA. I still think the Celtics are better than them. In the Eastern Conference, I think the Celtics are better. But I mean, look at the points. Evan Mobley, 20 and 6, one of the best defenders in the league. Reason he's a nominee for DPOY. Phenomenal defender. He won Rookie of the Year in that 2021 class, and that's probably one of the best draft classes the NBA has seen in a while. And winning Rookie of the Year in that draft class is insane. I mean, it shows how good of a player he is and how well he's improved through his 3-4 seasons in the NBA. Donovan Mitchell, 30 and 6 and 6, another pure scorer. Darius Garland, 21, 2, and 9. One assist away from double-double. Excuse me. Max Strus, 14, 1, and 6. Pretty off night for Strus. He had 30 or 25 against the Heat in their first game. But he's still a phenomenal player. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, like I said, I wanted the Heat to get 1 or 2 games. But at this point, I think it's going to be a 4-0 sweep for both the Celtics and the Cavs. Final game from last night, Rockets-Warriors. The Warriors are in some trouble now with Jimmy Butler being out with his pelvic contusion. I forgot what it was. Something with his pelvics, and he could be gone. I mean, it's going to be either a bruise or a fracture. If it's a fracture, he can be gone for a while. If it's a bruise, he can be gone for a game or 2. But, I mean, that's a huge, huge loss for the Warriors. I mean, Jimmy Butler is one of the best players in NBA history when it comes to the playoffs. He just steps up and plays infinitely better come playoff time. And losing a player like Jimmy Butler to injury is a huge, huge loss to them. Yeah, they still have the greatest three-point shooter ever, Steph Curry. But without him, I mean, you really can't. The team, besides him, really isn't doing much. Draymond Green is getting too old. Yeah, he's still a good player, but dropping 8 points and 5 rebounds in a game is not going to cut it. Especially when you're getting 31 minutes, that just isn't going to do it. I mean, Steph, 25 and 9, pretty calm night for Steph as well. Moses Moody, 12 and 2. And when you got Brandon Podziemski, I cannot say his name, have 0 points. He had dropped zeros across the board on 14 minutes. And when you have a starter dropping 0 points, 0 rebounds, and 0 assists on 10 plus minutes, you're not going to win the game, unfortunately. And that's what they lost. They lost to the Rockets 109-94. If you look at the Rockets, I mean, they've been playing, yeah, they lost their first game, but last night they really took advantage of Jimmy Butler being out. We got guys, obviously, Alperen Sengun, 17 points and 16 rebounds. He's a beast. Sengun is a really, really good player, phenomenal player, and I believe the 2021 class, very underrated pick for them. Maybe he was 22. I forgot when he was drafted, but he's a phenomenal player. He could be an third-team All-NBA player. He's phenomenal. He is really good. Jalen Green, 38, one of the most athletic players in the NBA. Pairing a Jalen Green, like how athletic he is, with a Men Thompson's athleticism is a really scary thing for the league to see. They are a very young team, however, and they've been in the league a while. I mean, none of the players besides Uncle Jeff Green, their team is very young and are very new to the league. So them being in the 2 spot is really good for them. But the Warriors have been in this situation before. Everyone's doubted them, and they came back and won. So I had to watch out for the Warriors. One win isn't, it's going switching locations now, but one win for the Rockets isn't a stepping. It's not a guarantee they're going to win the series now. The Warriors, like I said, have been in very interesting spots before like this. So don't be surprised if they come back and get another 2-3 wins and clear off the series. That's all I got for that segment. Next segment, going to segment 4, preview the games for tonight. There's 3 of them. We'll talk about that. After that, Nico Harrison. We'll talk about him. We'll get to that after the break.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Oh, man. That's some good water. Water is the best drink ever. I'm so serious. Water is so good. But welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jamber. First 3 segments talked about the NFL draft, been a mock draft. Last segment, if you're tuning in now, we just talked about the NBA games from last night, 4:23. This segment, we're going to preview the games for tonight. After this, we're going to talk about Nico Harrison for the final segment. So the games for tonight. There's 2 good games and 1 not good game. We'll talk about the not good game first because, it's not a good game. It's the Memphis Grizzlies versus the OKC Thunder. I think this series should not be aired. I'm being so serious when I say that. It's on TNT, which I'm very not happy about. I don't think that game should be on TNT. I think it should be on NBA TV, while the Pistons series and the Clippers series are both on TNT. Okay, let's start with the Thunder, though. They're just so much better than the Grizzlies in every aspect. Coaching, players. Anything you look at roster-wise, the Thunder are 3 times better than... Hey, what's up, Anthony? But the Thunder are just 3 times better than the Grizzlies in every subject. In every matter, in every play they play, everywhere they play, the Thunder are just so much better. Center play, Hartenstein/Chet, better than Edey. Jaren Jackson Jr. just cannot... because when you got Hartenstein, I have a question. Do you think players like Jalen Ramsey and Jameson Williams are going to be traded tonight? Anthony, that's a good question. So, Jalen Ramsey, there's a lot of options for him to get traded. Tonight, I don't think they get traded tonight. I really don't. I think he will get traded, by, I'd say sometime after the draft. But there's a lot of teams looking at him. I saw something earlier. The Lions are looking at him. The Eagles, who just always want to trade for somebody, are looking at him. The Saints are looking at him. I think the Panthers were as well. Maybe the Packers as well. So there's a lot of options, where he could go. But I don't think Jalen Ramsey gets traded tonight. I could think maybe after the draft, after teams acquire their players. I think maybe. But Jameson Williams, I think he doesn't. Obviously, I'm going to say that because, I'm from Detroit. I'm from Michigan. I'm a Lions fan. So I'm going to say no. I hope he doesn't. But realistically, if we did end up trading Jameson Williams, I think we'd get a lot out of him. Maybe not a lot, but a good amount for how valuable of a player he is. He's really fast. You know how fast he is. He can just get wherever you need him to. Quick slant routes are good for him. Bubble routes. Obviously, send him on a deep ball, and he's wide open. He's worth a lot, but I don't, obviously, so I have two opinions on that. I hope he doesn't get traded because I like him a lot, but if we do trade him, we'll get a good amount for him. If we trade him to, let's say, the Eagles, which I doubt we do, but hypothetical, we'd get someone like, Devontae Smith for him because he's a pretty valuable player, in my opinion. But, yeah, Jalen Ramsey, I don't think either of them do get traded tonight. Maybe, but my opinion, I don't think they will. If that helped, I hope that helped because that's what I think about it. But, like I was saying earlier about the NBA, the Thunder sucked, or the Thunder are just so much better than the Memphis Grizzlies, and that's all I got to say. Memphis Grizzlies are not good enough to compete against the Thunder. The other two games tonight are actually really good games. We'll talk about the Clippers-Nuggets game. That game is tonight, tied series 1-1, going to LA. This series has been one of the best NBA playoff series I've ever seen. It is really, it's just phenomenal. You got guys, Zubac versus Jokic, Jamal Murray versus James Harden, Michael Porter Jr. versus Kawhi Leonard, it's a phenomenal series with a lot of perfect matchups. Jamal Murray versus James Harden is honestly one of the better ones. Not the best, but James Harden's offensive skill just outmatches Jamal Murray's defensive skill. But it can be the same for the others. Jamal Murray's offensive skill also outmatches James Harden's defensive skill. Phenomenal matchup on both sides of the ball for either one of them. And then you got, Jokic versus Ivan Zubac. Phenomenal series. They both have double-doubles, triple-doubles each game against each other. Phenomenal series. I love watching these two, get after it. It's just great. You got guys like Kawhi Leonard stepping up, dropping 39 on 15 for 19 from the field, missing 4 shots the entire game. Phenomenal player. Kawhi Leonard, when he's healthy, is still one of the best players in the NBA. And he honestly could be a top 25 player all time. If he was never injured, he'd be a top 25 player all time. And I will stand by that take. But he did get injured, and that's why, his all-time legacy has kind of dropped down to maybe top 40, 50. But I think he's definitely a lot higher than that. And this series, like I said in many of my shows before, I do believe that the Clippers, this whole series is going to go to 7 games. I do think that. I think the Clippers get one tonight, or the Nuggets, and then they're both going to get tied. They're going to go 2-2, end the series, go back to Denver, have another 2-2 or 1-1 split, 3-3, head to LA for the game 7 to go to round 2. And I hope that's the case. This series has been so fun to watch. Both these games, I've sat and watched the entire 48 minutes of both these games. And there's never been a moment where I'm like, this team is slipping away. It's been close each game the entire time. And I just love this type of basketball. Then you got the other game, Detroit versus New York. The series is also split 1-1 from New York. Now they're heading to Detroit, the 3-1-3. This is the first time since 2018 where the Pistons have hosted a playoff game, and people are finally excited. They finally won their first playoff game since, I believe it was 2005, 8, I forgot what it was. But the last time the Pistons won a playoff game, I was like 4 years old. And now the Pistons have that, they have that energy, they have that momentum, and they're coming to Detroit, and they want to win. They're coming to win, and they're coming to play very, very aggressive. You saw in that last game, you had Cade Cunningham playing very efficient. Their shooting was very sketchy, though. You saw Malik Beasley, one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA this year, was very on or off. He wasn't hitting shots. He was I mean, it looked like he was nervous sometimes. He just wasn't hitting his shots he normally hits. Then you got guys like Tobias Harris, who when we signed him this offseason, we signed him for a vet to be, a vet guy, help teach our role players, our players how to, just improve. And he's done exactly that. He had a double-double against the Knicks last game where he was guarding Karl-Anthony Towns, someone who's about a foot taller than him, and he kept him below 10 points. I mean, Tobias Harris is one of the best players that the Pistons have signed this offseason, and it was a huge help for them in that win against New York. You got guys like Jalen Duren as well. He's 21 years old, and he's an absolute freak. I mean, he's just a freak. He's so athletic. He's strong. He can get off the ground. That Cade connection, that Cade to Duren alley-oop connection is actually just insane. They have so much chemistry together. I'm not sure where it all came from. Obviously, playing on the team together, they build it up. But that connection they have is just something you don't see in a lot of players. And they're always talking. They're always communicating. And this Pistons team is just a really young team and a really good team that I've enjoyed watching this past season. Last season, it was a horrible watch. Obviously, 14 wins is never fun to watch. But this year is one of the best. They're the most improved team overall. And even though Malik Beasley didn't win Sixth Man of the Year, I think tonight he could take some of that energy, say, this is why I should have won it, and kind of, do his thing, hoop. I mean, do what we sent him to do, hit threes. And be just a player that we need to step up. I mean, this is going to be a great series as well. This next Pistons series will honestly probably also go to 7 games, I hope, maybe 6. But if the Pistons can slip away with this series, head back to New York 3-1 with the Pistons lead, I think that'd be honestly the best thing for them. Because having a 3-1 lead is never guaranteed. Look at LeBron and the Cavs versus Curry and the Warriors in 2016. I mean, it's never guaranteed, but having that 3-1 lead is always beneficial. So Pistons heading to Detroit after their first playoff win in about 15 years. They're coming to win. They're coming. They're showing the league that we're not just some team that made it because we got lucky. We're a team that made it because we're here to play good basketball, and they've shown it the entire year. And this series and the Clippers series are 2 of the best series in the playoffs right now, and there's nothing to tell me otherwise. That's all I got for this segment. Next segment and the final segment, we're ending it off talking about Nico Harrison. Just want to touch on him a little bit. Haven't talked about him in a little while, so I want to touch on that. We'll get to him and the final segment after the break. Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jambert. First 4 segments, we talked about NBA, talked about the games from last night, the games preview for tonight. First 2 segments, we talked about the NFL draft, and I committed a little mock draft, made one up. So, and that's that. Final segment for today, Nico Harrison. Nico Harrison, he's been in the news pretty frequently recently, just with a lot of things he's done. Obviously, the number one thing, he was honestly, before the Luka trade, Nico Harrison was a phenomenal GM. He was getting, he got Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson. I mean, he was getting some good, a good team to build around. And then, he made his decision, traded Luka for AD. then honestly, looking back on it, still one of the most interesting trades of all time. But for the team that he was building, you can kind of see the vision. I mean, he had AD, one of the best centers in the league, playing. Kyrie Irving, still one of the best guards ever to play. Klay Thompson, who still got it. I mean, no, it's not nearly as consistent as he used to have it, but he can still shoot. He can still play good ball. But I want to talk about his press conference interview he had the other week, or maybe earlier this week. I forgot when it was. It was, he had a press conference, and a reporter asked him, they said, "Why shouldn't you be fired?" And he said, if I remember correctly, he said, "I've done a good job here." And that was like his response. If you take into account the fact, if he never made the NBA Finals last year, if he didn't make it, I think that statement obviously would have been completely false, and he would have been fired. Well, he would have been fired, but I mean, how do I say this exactly? I mean, he really has nothing going for him as of like recent, besides the fact that he made the NBA Finals last year. And that's honestly he's clinching out of that. Without that, if he didn't make the finals last year and then still traded Luka this offseason, I think he may have been fired. Just a small hint. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. He would have been fired. But, I mean, he really doesn't have much going for him. Obviously, he traded Luka. He missed the playoff. Yeah, he made it to the play-in and got manhandled by the Memphis Grizzlies, who were getting 4-0 swept, who will get 4-0 swept by the OKC Thunder. But, I mean, he really just kind of messed up. Mark Cuban spent 38 years, or 25 plus years building up that Mavs organization, building up to the best that it could be, and Nico Harrison destroyed it in about 30 days. He's just done some questionable things. He had that no phone or no video press conference where no one was able to record or, anything like that. And that was just a very weak thing to do. If you're having a press conference, you're doing it where people are able to ask you questions and people are able to post it on social media, say, "Oh, he asked this question, here's how he responded." I think he's just kind of cowering behind, he's still clinching out of the fact that he made the NBA Finals last year, and he still thinks that, like I said in the few shows ago, I was talking about him, how he thinks he's, safe from getting fired, because if they would have fired him already. But, he's, thinks he's safe because he's, sitting in the NBA crowd, not in his suite. He's, sitting in the stands with all the fans or whatever, and he thinks he's, safe or whatever, and that's just, not the truth at all. I think that's just really not it. I think that, obviously, the upper executive of the Mavs organization they had to sign off on the Luka trade, but Nico Harrison has also been just kind of like a scapegoat for them. They've taken none of the blame. It's only been Nico that has taken the blame for this trade, and you do, have to feel for him. This guy, he just wanted to make a trade. He wanted the trade for what he thought was right, which honestly, in the grand scheme of things, was not. It was not the right trade to make. And he's still holding on to the fact that, he said that in that press conference the other day where there was phones, that defense wins championships. Well, defense didn't get you out of the play-in, Nico Harrison, buddy. So I'm not really sure why you're still clinching on to the fact that you think defense wins championships when obviously it can't even win you a play-in spot. It can't even get you to the playoffs in general. So, I don't know. Nico Harrison has been in the news a lot recently. A lot for good, a lot for, not so good. It's honestly just kind of interesting to see what he's got going on over there. You got the trade. I'm just going to call it the trade because it's probably the worst trade ever in any sport. Any professional sports, it's probably the most, not the worst, but probably the most obscure, most out of the blue trade ever. There was no news on it because obviously Luka wanted to be in Dallas his entire career. He never wanted to leave. His fan base, his love for Dallas was insane. He never wanted to leave, and he got shipped off to LA. Which honestly, the Lakers are playing good. They just beat them. They beat the Timberwolves the first time in their tournament, in their playoffs series. They were tied 1-1. So, and honestly, if they never traded Luka, the Dallas Mavericks, they were, I believe, a 5 seed when they traded them. And honestly, If they never did, I still think they could have been, a 5, 4, 6 seed in the West. So they would have been in the better spot than they already were right now. But another thing about the whole trade, Luka has still not talked to Nico Harrison since the trade. He has refused to talk to him. He has not, Nico, I don't think he's ever made arrangements to reach out to him. But I think even if he did, Luka does not respond. I think he would just completely ignore him, ghost him, because obviously I would do the same thing. I wouldn't want to talk to the coach who traded me away from the city that I love, hold dear, have played there my 6-year career so far. I've played there all 6 years, and I've loved it, and he wanted to stay there his entire time, and they got rid of him. So, honestly, still one of the most interesting trades ever, and him holding that no phone call, no recording conference was one of the more interesting things that's happened as of recently, because that's just not a very common theme. And, yeah, honestly, that's all I got to say about Nico Harrison. He's got a lot to make up for in this offseason. He needs to get a good kid in the draft, and make some good plays in the free agency, and just try to rebuild this team to what it was last year and push for an NBA championship. That's all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. Your continuous support really means the world, so feel free to like, comment, and share. If you want to stay up to date with all things GSMC, make sure to follow us on all of our socials, YouTube, Twitter/X, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. If we have social media, we're on it, so make sure to search up GSMC and then find us on there and follow us to stay up to date with all things GSMC. But with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all very soon.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to